I found this book in Holland when I went to The Hague last year. I had never heard of it before, um, and I bought it for a bunch of reasons. One of the reasons is that it's a pretty nice example of Dutch design. Well, it was also cheap, 12 euros 50 cents. Um, so, in a nutshell, what you get is this is about Scheveningen, some little town just north of The Hague, and I can only beg all the Dutch people who might view this not to send me emails with corrections and everything. I'm doing the best I can. And it's entirely in Dutch, which I can read. A lot of people probably can't, but it doesn't really matter so much for me. What I find interesting here is that it gives you a pretty good idea of Dutch book design. Of course, I wouldn't just buy a book for the design. It also contains these fantastic typologies of things. And typologies, that's such a boring subject matter, and it's always so serious. You know, typologies of gas tanks and of what have you. And these are here. These are just, of course, also typologies presented in a grid. But there's all this mundane stuff, and there's a lot more to come. So you get, the colors. Something that you see a lot in Dutch photo books are these different colored pages. You see they use a red background and print images directly on the red background, and it works rather well. And I think the way this book is set up is it talks about the different parts of that little town, if I'm not entirely mistaken. It's like the beach, first harbor. So these different parts of that town are talked about pretty much the same way. So there's an introduction, and then you're treated to these typologies of things. These are, I suppose, signs for fish. Of course, Americans know this sign. So here's the triple Jesus. And then you get the typology of fish foods, what used to be fish food. And then some description. I haven't read these descriptions. There's a map with indicating the different positions of these buildings that they then show. So I don't know. This is not necessarily the most exciting photo book. I just love the way that I can use it as a teaching tool, and I'm totally in love with these typologies. I don't want to go through the whole book because it's rather repetitive, but how can you not like this? And I don't even like cars. Or something like this. I'd rather see this in a gallery than yet another exhibition of water towers, something like this. Note the little detail here. Something like that. It's just very charming. I've literally no idea where and how you would buy this book in the US. I don't know whether you're actually interested in a book like this. But if you want to get a good idea of some of the aspects that make Dutch photo books in particular so interesting, this is a very good example. You get some ideas. There's actually a lot just in this little book. And as I said, if you're Dutch, you probably disagree with me and you're going to send me email. But that's okay. So, it's called SCH Forever, Scheveningen Forever. It's published by Stroom Den Haag. And I don't know, just Google it, you might be able to find it online.